Well, folks, it was a much needed vacation for me from work, and we also took a couple week break from the show, but we are finally back on the Terranadome. Of course, my name is Scott Terrana. I got a big head, so we call it the Terranadome. You may recall the last time I was on the show, I was all in on my Boston Red Sox, and I told you the World Series was on and that they were going to make a significant addition to the pitching staff at the trade deadline. The good news, they're still playing great baseball. Bad news, they didn't really make any significant additions to the team, but we will discuss where they are at this point in the season. After that, it's NFL training camp as football season is just a month away, folks. We will get into some quick hits on NFL training camp. Oh, yeah, and Josh Morris is back on the show after a long absence, folks. It's the Terranadome, and it starts right now.
Known as fair and square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome. Terranadome, and it starts right now. And welcome into the show, folks. Of course, I'm Scotty T, and it's let's see if I can still do this. It's been a while. I might be a little rusty. I might be a little choppy. I thought I might need some help with this show today. So coming back on the program as he has been regularly since the relaunch of the show is Josh Morris. Josh, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm glad I could help out this week.
Yes. Well, we'll see how much you get. We'll see how much help you really are because I think we're gonna probably, as you can see, I've got a banner behind me, a jersey on, and a nice new Green City Connect Red Sox hat on as well. So I think you know which direction I'm staying in. Because the last time I was on this show, folks, I was taking the cheese. I was absolutely drinking the Kool-Aid. They had just had the big series where Cedar Rafaela hits that walk-off home run on the Friday night, and everyone's going bonkers there. It's so bad I can't remember who they were playing.
Tampa Bay. I was at that Sunday game.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, see, this is why I need him on the show today, guys. Yeah, so I was like, oh, I'm in. They're gonna win the World Series. Like, yeah. I'm not necessarily totally backing off that, but like we got to temper a few things here, folks.
Do we
People,
have a clip of you saying they were going to make a big deal? Do we have a clip of that?
yeah, well, I'll find it. I don't really like editing that much, as people may be aware of. But since you asked, yes, there's definitely a clip, and you gotta let me get to this stuff. But yeah, yes, I did say that they were gonna make a big buy at the deadline, and that was gonna put them over the top. Anyway, we'll get to that. So right now, your Boston Red Sox are 62 and 51, folks. 3 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays for the AL East lead. They have tied for the fourth most wins in all of Major League Baseball. Didn't see that coming at any point. They are 22 and 8 since June 28th. They are tied with the Milwaukee Brewers for the best record in baseball over the last 30 games. They're 25 and 16 since the Rafael Devers trade, which, if you remember, I very much poo-pooed on the show, and I was very critical. And I said, I'm out, I'm done. And then here we are, like just a total Red Sox fan. 25 and 16 since the Devers trade, while the Giants are 15 and 25 since acquiring him. Common thread, you tell me. And they've won 5 in a row and 7 out of their last 9, including 2 out of the 3 against the LA Dodgers, of the heavy favorite for the World Series, of course. And a 3-game series sweep over the Houston Astros this past weekend. Josh, the postseason odds are now 90.4% for this team to make the postseason and 8.4% to win the World Series. So you're telling me there's a chance. What do you think of all of this stuff, this recent run? Are you buying, or do you think that they didn't do enough and eventually it catches up to them?
I definitely don't think they did enough. But I was at that Sunday game to finish off that series, to finish off the sweep of the Rays. And let me tell you, man, being in the stadium, I was like, it was hard not to buy in. You were like, oh my God, we're back. We're so back.
Mm.
And then, you see what they do at the deadline and you're just like, come on. Like, it feels like we're replaying what we've done the last 3-4 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like rinse and repeat. which is not what we want. Like, is we were hoping like, no, this year's different. We're going for it. Like, and then of course, there was the accidental. Oh, we got Joe Ryan, and then everyone's like, yeah, and that was you're elated for maybe 2 minutes because then you find out, oh no, no, we're not those Red Sox anymore. We're the Red Sox where John Henry doesn't want to spend any money.
Yep, and we just want to stockpile prospects. Although supposedly, and this is even according to Jeff Passan and I think others too, Joe Ryan, of course, high-end starter ace for the Minnesota Twins, would be a perfect fit with Garrett Crochet here. They don't get it done, but supposedly, and this goes back to the interest king stuff in every offseason that they've been for the last 4 years as well. Supposedly they were willing to part with a couple of high-end prospects. Supposedly. But yet it still didn't happen because, oh, Minnesota was too busy selling off the rest of their team, so they weren't interested in selling off Joe Ryan anymore. Sounds like spin. Sounds like a bunch of crap. It does.
Yeah, I
But
mean, because if you're gonna get all these high end prospects, you don't care who you're selling off. You're like, yeah, if you're willing to give us all these guys, we'll stop what we're doing to get those prospects.
the Red Sox, yes, the Red Sox are also widely regarded as having the best farm system in baseball. They easily could have gotten this done if they really wanted to get it done. Okay. What they did end up doing is the Red Sox acquire a lefty starter turned reliever, Steven Matz. He's had one appearance with the team since they got him. He had a scoreless inning. And right-handed starting pitcher Dustin May, who, when he came up a few years ago, high-end prospect himself. I think he's 26. Has had Tommy John. Throws 99 with I think with either a big sinker or a big slider, but he has not come close to living up to the potential that the Dodgers thought he would be, because the Dodgers, even though they have a surplus of arms, they are constantly getting these guys injured because of their philosophy and the way that they coach pitching. So for them to unload this guy is kind of telling to me. But they didn't do enough of the deadline. That's a fact. And I do think it will catch up at some point. But the good news, and I will tell you, Josh, this much that is different. If you notice the last like 3 trade deadlines in a row, when they haven't done enough, this team, Alex Cora starts to sulk and starts to bitch and starts to complain openly, and the team goes in the toilet. That's not happening this time around. This team is bought into each other. This team has that belief in one another that they're good enough to go out and win ball games. And it's nice to see a different attitude, because you can't just keep seeing poopy pants from Cora every year after the deadline. So anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. Usually after the deadline, that's when that plummet happens, where all of a sudden we go from, hey, we're in the hunt, to we're in last place for the third straight year or whatever it might be. I also wanted to ask you, Dylan Cease, Ethan Salas, Jarren Duran, you heard they nixed it immediately. How do you feel about that?
I think like 3 weeks ago I would have done that deal. I would have shipped Duran to San Diego, because Cease is a high end arm, and Salas, while he hasn't really had, he's very young,
Mm.
has is a high end catching prospect, which they need.
Yeah, we have no one.
No, I mean Narvaez is good. He's fine,
Yes.
but he's never going to be an impact bat. You need somebody to pair with him. You have Connor Wong, which is that's a joke. He got his second RBI of the season yesterday. And I'm not kidding. That's a real stat, and they're both
Yeah,
sack
he was
fly.
hitting 130 that Sunday I went to the game. Like it popped up I was like 130.
Yeah, that seems high to me. And his 2 RBI are both sack flies. So there you go. But I think I would have done that deal. I might still have done that deal at the deadline, just because Cease is that. I know that the numbers on the surface are not great with Dylan Cease this year, but if you look at the peripherals, the underlying stuff, he should be much better. And he's probably going to have a really good second half, and they're probably going to be smart not for dealing him. And Salas would have been perfect. So, like, yeah, the chemistry in the team with Duran, and Duran's been hot for a few weeks too, which is
I
probably.
think that's the only reason they didn't do it.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I would have personally done it. I mean, I think he's hitting like he was hitting 257 at the time. I would have been like, all right, bye.
Yeah,
Like,
with like 6 home runs, and he's doubled his home run total in the last few weeks too. Like he's cooking now. I don't think that they're gonna internally regret not trading Duran, but I think from a logistical standpoint, you probably should have done it. Uh, World Series back on?
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the AL though. I mean, they have a chance. They really do. Like, what team in the American League do you go, we can't beat them?
I was gonna mention that the American League is completely wide open. It's totally wide open this year. The Yankees certainly not scary. Even when they get Judge back, I'm not afraid of the damn
Yeah,
Yankees.
I mean, that team, they kind of look like us from the past 3, 4 years. Like, bad base running, bad fielding, like bad fundamentally. Like, just,
Yeah.
they look like a bad baseball team.
Yeah, they do. They look like a stupid baseball team, and I think that might be the reflection of their doofus manager. But hey, I might just be a hater over here.
2003. You're still on
Oh,
2000.
I'll never like Darren Boone, dude. It'll never happen. 2003, forever etched in my memory. Tim Wakefield, rest in peace, by the way. He just his birthday was like the other day to Tim Wakefield. Um, but just a couple of numbers I'll throw out at you, I guess. Red Sox are the fourth best team OPS in baseball. You'd probably be surprised to know that. They have the seventh best team ERA in baseball, which you may be less surprised to know that because you've got Garrett Crochet in the Cy Young discussion. Lucas Giolito is pitching like the best version of himself from like 3 to 5 years ago.
You got the Cuban Missile, who's been a stud.
You beat me to it. Whatever they unlocked with Aroldis Chapman, they turned back the clock like 6 to 7 years on him because
He is unreal right now.
he's been incredible. And I hate it. I do not like him as a person, and there are obvious reasons for that. But objectively, for the team, he has been utterly dominant. And Brian Bayo, a guy that I thought was going to be a bust, a guy I was super high on when he came up for the minors 3 years ago. They have him throwing a cutter, and it's
Yeah, I was gonna
all the
say you
difference.
texted me during that game that it saved his career.
I think it did. I think it did because maybe you would have ended up putting him in the bullpen or something. But this is a guy. This is the first like real starter they've actually developed since like Clay Buchholz, and that's not
Mm.
an exaggeration. It's
And
not.
you mentioned the cutter. It reminds me a lot of Corbin Burns, right? Corbin Burns, he used to throw a four-seamer. He was getting absolutely killed. He went to the sinker-cutter combo, which out of that tunnel, they look almost identical,
Right.
and it's hard for hitters to pick it up. And he throws such a good sinker. Like his cutter now really plays off that, just like Corbin Burns ended up winning the Cy Young. I think, I mean, I'm not going to, say Bayo's going to be a Cy Young winner, but I think he's going to be a very, very good pitcher.
If he's 75 to 80% of what Corbin Burns was in his prime, of course Burns now going under the knife for Tommy John, but that's not the point. Then you've got a great pitcher. I just think that, and maybe they get something out of Dustin May because Andrew Bailey's pitching factory does seem to be working again, right? Um, but they just needed one more, and I don't know if Dustin May's enough because I'm gonna tell you something. I've never liked the Dodgers, but I always liked Walker Buehler when nasty pitcher. But he's had two Tommy John surgeries, and he just to me it reminds me of like Corey Kluber when he was here for that year or whatever. He just doesn't have it anymore. You can tell he's just fighting it every single start, and he just doesn't have it. And it's sad to watch because he was one of my favorite pitchers in the game at one time.
And he's still relatively young.
Yeah, he's 31, I think. So yeah, but that
I mean, I remember, what was it, that 2018 World Series? He was an absolute stud that year.
Yeah. Yeah. When he first came up, he was like top five in the Cy Young like 3 years in a row or something like that. He was a really good pitcher. Um, but that's the thing about these guys that have two Tommy John surgeries. Like the only one I can think of maybe one or two that have had success. Like Nathan Eovaldi stands out among the rest of them, but like a
And you
lot.
let him walk.
And of course, we let him walk, right? Of course. Would have been nice to trade back for him at the deadline. It's not like the Rangers were going anywhere, but whatever. I think we're splitting hairs at this point. What I will tell you is that one thing is they have been better at Fenway this year than they've been in a long time. They're 37 and 21 at home. course, that means they're only 25 and 30 on the road, but 16 games over 500. That's a real home field advantage. There are a lot of ingredients that tell me this team can have postseason success, but do these pitchers hold up? And the reason I ask is because Crochet, his career high in innings was 146 last year. He's going to hit but he's going to be close to 140 after his start tonight. Um, Lucas Giolito hasn't really pitched a full season in like 3 years. How much leash do they give him? Um, and then yeah, like other things that haven't worked out this year. You asked me pre-show about like Tanner Houck. Well, Tanner Houck was like your one of your two best starters last year. You got nothing out of him this year, and now he's going for Tommy John. So, um, I think they were kind of counting on him being a mixture in that rotation. Cutter Crawford, another guy who was a really good number four, number five for you last year. Nothing out of him this year, injured. Um, so there's a lot to like here. I don't. If you can get out of the American League, who knows, right?
I
Um,
mean, that's the thing about baseball playoffs. It's if you're in the dance, you got a chance.
that's you should put that on a t-shirt and try to patent it with MLB because that's a great little slogan. It's absolutely true. You just never know. I mean, you really don't ever know. Like what happened last year? Didn't we get the Tigers in the ALCS last year or
Yep.
something like that?
And
Right.
they were the best team in baseball in that last like month and a half or whatever. And you and I had the little like side wager that that I said they were gonna win the American League because they were just so hot at the time.
Yeah, and they almost did. They almost did.
Right? It was Scooble in the sixth inning of game seven. He let up all those runs.
Yeah, which you don't expect, but I mean, career high in innings for Skubal last year.
I mean, he looks amazing again this year.
Yeah,
So
I mean the up until a couple of weeks ago, it was really like a 4 or 5 horse race for the American League Cy Young, and now I kind of think it's down to Skubal and Crochet.
I would
Um,
agree.
you
And
know,
Crochet is just a little behind in like the purrs and stuff, but it only takes one bad start. You know what I mean?
right. And just talking about the Detroit Tigers, they are once again with I think they have the second best record in either the AL or in baseball. So.
Yeah,
So
I saw a stat a couple weeks ago that over the last 162 games, like I think at the All-Star break, they have been the best team in baseball in the last 162 games.
which is
So like the
pretty.
last full season. So
Right.
they've taken what they did last year and they're still going.
Yeah, well, they've developed
That would be a great
even more.
ALCS if I could foreshadow that. That would be awesome.
What Tigers Red Sox?
Yeah, that'd be
That'd be
awesome.
fun. I'd be a little nervous about that, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Detroit,
But I mean, it would make good baseball. It would make for good drama.
it would, and Detroit. I think in the Blue Jays, they're similar kind of teams. Detroit's pitching's better, but with the Blue Jays and the Tigers, they don't strike out a lot. They're
Mm.
pains in the ass. They put the ball in play constantly. They play the game, I think, the right way.
The old headway.
Yeah, it's right. Like old heads, right? Like when we were kids. Like you know what I mean? Like
You don't have the guys striking out 200 times a year, you know?
yeah, exactly. And like they've gotten resurgent years from Gleyber Torres and Javier Baez of all people. Like so,
Ugh.
like, it's been nuts. Pretty cool though. Um, Great baseball discussion here, my friend. I would like to do more of it. I think we're gonna have to. Because this team's going to be in the mix even down the stretch here. So even when we start getting into the football shows, going to have to find a way to get this in there. So good stuff as always, of course. Again, folks, I'm Scott Terrana. It's the Terranadome. Josh Morris, he's back on the show after what I feel like has been close to a couple months now. So
It's been a while. It's been a little bit because it was like shortly after my surgery. So it was probably like mid-May, late May. So
oh
it's been
yeah,
a little bit.
that's right. He couldn't even move. He's doing a little better now, so that's doing a lot better now. So that's good. Um, Got to get his ass back to work, though. Jeez, I mean, enough's enough. ah, I'm just kidding. All right. So now we get into the quick hits portion of the show, folks. These will be pretty rapid fire. We might have a little bit of debate on the fourth topic, but all in all, we've got NFL quick hits training camp edition as training camps opened up about a week and a half ago or so for most teams. And then the last quick hit is not going to be about football. That's all I'm going to tell you, but it's going to be the very last one. Um, so, Josh, we got a couple of prominent, very prominent players in the league that are looking for either big contracts or to be traded from their current team. I'm going to start with Micah Parsons, the beast defensive end, outside linebacker, hybrid, whatever you want to call him, for the Dallas Cowboys. I almost said Cowgirls. For the Dallas Cowboys. Um, he wants to be traded because Jared Jones is balking at his contract demands. That's probably because he paid like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb like half a
Man.
billion dollars between the two of them. So that probably has something to do with it. Um, Josh, TJ Watt just got 3 years and 123 million from Pittsburgh. Parsons is much younger and better than Watt at this stage. And also, statistically, I know everybody likes numbers. I do too. Parsons has had at least 12 sacks in each of his first 4 seasons. He's a two-time All-Pro and has 63 tackles for loss in 63 career games. What do you think happens with the All-Pro from Dallas?
I think he's getting traded. I I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know how true it is, but Micah Parsons has always kind of come off as pretty transparent. Like he does his podcast. I mean, he's pretty just out there.
Yeah.
And he came forward and said, like, I tried to get a deal done before any of these guys got big deals. Like he wanted to be in Dallas, and I actually believe him. I think he wanted to be there. He always seemed like he liked Dallas, but he just wanted his money now. And a lot of NFL guys do. It's a tough sport. You don't get to play forever. You got to make that guaranteed money when you can. Like if he tears an ACL this year, the team might
Exactly.
not give him the big money. So he's on, I believe, his fifth year of the rookie deal, correct?
Yeah, his final year. Yeah.
So I totally understand wanting to get that extension now. And then I understand the Cowboys stance saying, well, we don't have to pay you yet. We're not gonna. So, I feel like in the NFL when it gets to this point, there's no rehashing it. It's over.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, but it's Jerry Jones. And sometimes Gerald just wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and he says, well, I want me some glory. Oh, I'm going to sign me Micah Parsons. And then I mean, but we got to think about it this way. I just mentioned the Watt contract for comparison, right? So Parsons is probably looking for a 5 or 6 year deal, I would think. And probably if Watt got 41 million a year, don't you think he's going to be looking for like 5 and 200 or something like that? I mean,
Yeah, and then you look at the numbers and you go, how do you sign? Like, is all of your salary cap going to be on three guys?
well, the Bengals are doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Probably not going to work either.
you know what I mean?
That's
So
not going
it
to work.
comes down to do you want to win or do you just want to make everyone happy?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've kind of come to the conclusion over the last, I'd say, half a dozen years with Jerry Jones that he would rather be in the spotlight and be talked about than actually be a winning team or actually winning Super Bowls. Like as weird as that is, but it kind of feels that way to me.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're being talked about, I mean that'll bring you revenue in one way or another. So, you know,
Like,
it's
yeah,
easier than winning a championship, right?
yeah. I mean, you're still blowing all your money, and I don't know. I've always been confused by the Cowboys, but all I know is the Cowboys will probably start like 5-1, and all the fans will be like, "Yeah, this is our year," and then the same crap will happen that always happens to them. Um, where do you think he gets traded to kind of wrap this one up? Because we got another one to get to here.
And that's the thing. I have no idea because it's gonna be a crappy team, right? It's got to be a team with a bunch of cap
New
and that
England,
can
baby.
actually offer something.
New England, baby. It's gonna
No,
be.
he's not going to New England.
He's going to New England. We're signing him. We're gonna take all our cap space, which is like 60 million right now, to Pat Stu lead the
I
league.
mean, you definitely could, but what are you going to give up? Well, I mean, you might just have to give up a couple picks. I mean,
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah, I mean, like if you let's say it's like let's say you give up. It's really rare to see first round picks get traded, especially like in the NFL, especially. Let's say you gave up a first and a fourth. What's that? That get it done? I don't know. I
I
don't know.
mean, I think I was reading the comparisons, the comps to the Khalil Mack, and I think Khalil was second, third, and fifth.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So like, if you have to give up a first, fourth, and sixth or seventh, like if I'm the Patriots, I do. Yeah,
Yeah, I do it. I would.
especially you have the quarterback on the rookie deal, so you don't have to make these tough decisions for another 4 years.
Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, you create that window, which is in the NFL, the 5 years that you have your rookie quarterback. You create that window for 3 to 4 years, and then you make the tough decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And in most cases, they pay that rookie, they pay that quarterback, and then things change
Yeah,
overnight.
and then you got to cut some guys and restructure, but that's how the NFL works now.
Right. Good stuff, Josh. I don't think he's actually going to get traded to the Patriots, but it would be awesome. Just because, and I know plenty of Cowboys fans that would go ape bleep over it too. But we have another prominent player, another elite player in the league, wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Quick hit point number two. Number two, Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders remain far apart on contract demands, and he also wants to be traded, the number one receiver in Washington. Um, Finally showed that he's a real elite receiver with a real quarterback last year. I felt that same way. I felt that way for a while about him. He just needed the quarterback. But like he wants to be paid like one of these top guys. I bet you'd love to see him on your 49ers, wouldn't you?
I mean, if he came to the Niners, that would essentially be Debo for McLaurin, and I'd be okay with that. The thing is, I think he just signed an extension like last year or 2 years ago, and it's
You're
like,
right. You're right. Yeah, that's
and
true.
and this is where I know probably the younger generation is like, give them their money. It's like you signed a deal, man. Like you signed a contract. Play it out, bud. Like every time you get better in life, you don't get to just go in and be like, hey, now I need more money. That's not how it works. Like you signed a deal, play it out. Like I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. So if I'm Washington, I'm sticking to my guns and I'm saying I'm not trading you. Sit out and lose a bunch of money. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. I do believe that this is the last year of that deal, though. It was only like a 2 or 3 year deal. So, I go bet on myself. I guess if I'm him, I bet on myself. I pray I don't get injured, and then I have an even bigger season, and then I really get the bag. But I mean, yeah, he's in a different spot. Um, just like you with the 49ers, I would also love him on the Patriots. That would absolutely make them a ridiculous offense, but that won't happen. So yeah. You got that going on. You got Micah Parsons going on. Were the two big ones for me. Um, One that's really not being talked about, but I guess Pro Football Talk has talked about it a little bit. Quick hit point number three, real quick. Sidney Rice, wide receiver for the Chiefs, if you recall, had an infamous hit and run incident down in Texas where he wrecked like six people's cars, and then him and his boys just like got out of his car and ran away. And nothing ever really happened to him about it. Well, this year, yeah, okay. Well, you're waving.
Rashee Rice?
I said Sidney Rice, didn't
You
I?
said Sidney Rice, and I was like, Sidney
Wow,
Rice. I
holy
was like,
crap.
what?
Wow, no credibility on this show anymore, folks. We're gonna have to end it right there. Rashee Rice, standout receiver, I'll give you that. But Rashee Rice is not a very good driver,
Yeah.
and he wrecked some poor people's cars, and I think injured some people as well. And him and his buddies just kind of got up and left, and nothing really came of it. Well, now it's coming up this year. He may end up with a suspension. First of all, one, do you think that he will get suspended? And two, what do you think he deserves as a suspension? Because I think we both agree that he deserves to be suspended for this.
Oh, absolutely. I think you got to look at some of what other players have done and stuff. I think you're looking at a minimum of 6 games. Like it should be at least 6 games. That's what a lot of these other guys have gotten. I mean, Josh Gordon got suspended like a full season for smoking weed. So I mean, like,
More than a
what are
full
we?
season.
Huh?
Yeah, more than a full season. He got like
Yeah.
a definite ban for smoking pot. Yeah.
So it's like what are we doing? This guy literally smashed it, and then just walked away. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Like if he had stayed on scene and like actually been like a decent person about it,
Right?
I don't think he's facing a suspension, you know?
Yeah.
But
Um,
that's not what
but
happened.
I mean, he was probably a little inebriated or something. So I
Oh,
mean,
of course. Yeah, of course.
so um, but I mean, a hit and run is still a big deal. Like that's not.
That's a
It's
felony.
not like your average. Yeah, exactly. It's not just so I crashed into someone. You left the scene of a crime, dude. Like, not that any of these football players seem to have any responsibility for anything they do, but I think it's got to be a minimum of 6 games. I don't think it will because it's the Chiefs and everything seems to break their way. So I don't know. It might be 4 games. But he
Might be
should,
nothing.
yeah, right? Like he should definitely be suspended, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Indubitably, I'm with you. It should be at least 6. I think it should be 8. I think you should
Yeah,
sit him down for half the season and teach him a lesson. But again, it's the Chiefs and they're Teflon, so nothing sticks to them. And you're probably right. It's probably 4 max. But yes, that's Rashee Rice, not Sidney Rice, the former Vikings receiver from like 10 to 15 years ago. Now he played with Adrian Peterson. That's all I remember. Um, I remember more than that, but I've done a lot of. Never mind. Quick hit point number 4. Anybody that knows me knows what I'm talking about. Quick hit point number 4. I don't think this one is going to be very quick, folks, but this one will be the most interesting one to talk about. So, I'm sure you know this, Josh, but the Pro Football Hall of Fame nominees for the 2026 class have come out. And so I had to look this up, but 4 to 8 is the range for each year. I thought it was less than that for some reason, but apparently you can have up to 8 Hall of Famers. Um,
that seems
that can,
like a lot.
it does seem like a lot, but apparently that is the case. There's a lot of guys on this list that you can make a case for. I personally have got 7, and I will tell you who they are in a minute. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go down the list real quick. Here's who are the first time eligible Hall of Famers are for 2026, folks. We have the great Drew Brees, Philip Rivers, and Alex Smith. At running back, we have Frank Gore.
First
LaShawn,
ballot. First ballot.
yeah, I totally agree. We'll get there. LaShawn McCoy and Todd Gurley. Remember, Todd Gurley's career cut very short. At wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald, first ballot.
First ballot.
Julian Edelman, don't say anything yet. And Des Bryant, who I think if Des Bryant had played longer in the league, maybe you had a case, but again, we'll get there. At tight end, Jason Witten and Greg Olson.
First ballots in my mind.
Both of them. All right,
Yeah,
so we'll get there. We will, because I got my list at the bottom. I got offensive linemen and defensive linemen in here. I don't really see a case for any of them, but the Pouncey brothers and David DeCastro. Maybe Mike Pound. No, maybe Marquise Pouncey. I thought it was Mike Pouncey that played for the Steelers. But anyway, defensive lineman Geno Atkins and Jarrell Casey. I always thought Geno Atkins was really good. Linebacker Thomas Davis and Sean Lee. And special teams, we have Steven Gostkowski. Pats fans. I know plenty of Pats fans that would not put him in. And for coaches and contributors, Josh, take a guess who the one person is on that list.
I have no idea. Who's
Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick.
you only have to be out of the league for 2 years?
Apparently, you only have to be out of the league for 2 years if you're a coach or a contributor. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know that either, but he's the only one on that list. So I don't know if you remember everybody that I just went down here. I'll go over them again.
No, I remember Drew Brees. He's first ballot.
Okay, so you've got Breeze.
Phillips not getting in.
You don't think so?
At least not first ballot.
Well, no, we're not talking about first ballot. I just mean guys that are going to get in. Like, are they Hall of Famers or not?
Oh, I think Philip Brees is a Hall of Famer. Absolutely.
Do you think Drew Brees or Philip Rivers? Because you said Philip Breeze. See, I got you now.
Oh, did I? Yeah,
you said Philip Breeze.
I think they're both going to get in, but Brees is a first ballot. Philip, no.
Okay.
I love Alex Smith, being a Niner fan, but no.
Nope.
And then I think the running back, it's only Gore. I don't think McCoy or Gurley get in. I just don't think they were long enough in the league to really.
I don't think
He
McCoy was
was
in the
there
league long enough, but he wasn't at a high level for long enough.
exactly.
You
You
know,
know, Frank Gore. I mean,
well, frankly, there's
might
not
be as dumb as
that's
a bag of rocks, but that guy could run the rock.
that
Like that,
guy's
he was amazing.
that guy's not it's that's not even a 49er bias with Frank Gore because he played for like 6 teams.
Yeah, no, he
Um,
was. I mean, he played forever. He had what 17,000 yards. So
yeah, it's
guy,
ridiculous.
guy was a stud.
Played till he was like 37 or something.
Wide receiver, I think Fitzgerald's first ballot.
Okay, I agree.
Edelman, he's fringe. I mean, you could definitely make an argument. You can make an argument.
I'm going to make that argument.
But I don't. I mean, he might get in the future. He's definitely not first ballot. I don't think you can make an argument for first ballot.
I agree with that.
But I mean, I think he could definitely get in. He kind of revolutionized the slot receiver. Even more so than Wes Welker did in that time. He was a staple for that Patriots second dynasty.
They don't win at least 2 Super Bowls without Julian Edelman. I'd argue 3.
The Atlanta one, hands
For
down.
sure. That was the most amazing catch like ever, or one of
Yeah,
them.
hands down.
Yeah.
Him and James White essentially, in my opinion, won that game for them.
Yeah.
So you could definitely make an argument. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm saying he could definitely get in. It depends on the writers. Like that's what it always comes down to. Like who's going to get voted in.
I'm impressed
And
with
I
that.
knew
I thought you'd be a hard no.
no. I mean, a lot of Patriots haters would say no, just because they just
Yes.
oh dink and dunk. But I mean, the guy he was so good with the ball in his hands, especially being a West Coast offense guy with the Niners. Yak is that's what makes a receiver in the NFL nowadays. Like if you can run with the ball, you make plays happen, and he did that. He was also very good at getting open. Him and Brady had such a rapport together that obviously Brady made him better, but I think he made Brady better in that second generation of the dynasty. So I think he's got an argument. I just don't think he's first ballot. And I will say Olsen might not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he definitely gets in.
That's interesting. But you think Witten's a first ballot?
Absolutely. You don't think he is?
I tend to lean that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
tend to lean that way. He played forever and he was at a high level forever. I'm not sure Greg Olsen gets in.
Ever?
I'm not sure.
Huh?
What about the linemen? Any you want to talk about the linemen or the linebackers at all? Or are you good with that?
I mean, the two linebackers, it was Sean Lee, which I don't think he's getting in.
No,
And who was the other
Thomas
one?
Davis he was mostly with the Panthers for his career.
You
Very
could have an
good.
argument for him, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know first ballot, but he was very good for them.
He was very good.
The Pouncey brothers I could definitely see them going in. Again, I don't know if they're first ballot, but I could see them getting in. Mike Pouncey, he was Miami, right?
Mike
Or was he
Pouncey
the
was
Steelers?
Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Pouncey. All right. So I mean, I could see them getting in. Again, I don't see a lot of those guys being first ballot, especially when you have someone like Larry, Drew, Gore, and then you're putting those guys first ballot. Like, isn't that the whole point of being a first ballot Hall of Famer? Is that you're separated from everyone else,
Yes.
right?
Yes. It's this. The waters are getting muddy now because, like, I was just saying, like, just Hall of Famers, and you're like right at 8 right now.
Mm.
Oh, then you still got Gostkowski, which I personally don't think is a Hall of Fame.
No. It's you have to be the best of the best to get in as a kicker. Like it took Vinatieri how long to get in?
I don't even know if he's in yet.
No, he has to be in.
I don't know. Didn't he? He only retired a couple years ago. I don't know if he's in yet.
No, really?
I don't know.
I feel like if Vinatieri's not in, Gostkowski can't be in.
Yeah, of course not. No, I agree with that. And of course, do you even really need to say that Bill Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
If you think Bill Belichick isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch football because you're on crack.
Yeah.
So
I mean, defensive coordinator, head coach, he could go in as all of them.
that's true. So you made a lot of good points that I really don't need to follow up too much on my list. I'd say for first ballot, I'd put in Breeze, Fitzgerald, Gore, Witten. That would be first ballot. Also Hall of Famers, Phillip Rivers, Belichick, of course. And yes, Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. Damn it. And I never thought that I would come around and actually think that was actually going to be a possibility, but Guy belongs in. He belongs in, and you made the arguments better than I can right now. You basically made every point that I was gonna make. So, but that is a loaded nominee list for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then you still have guys. So 8 is for that year in total, correct?
yeah, it can be up to 8. Yeah,
Now it's not just from 2026. Guys that were also nominated this year, they could get in next year as well, right?
that's right. Yeah,
So
so
and it's
that's
only
why
8.
that's why I was kind of just making it a general discussion,
Yeah,
I
because
guess.
that's what I would think. Those 4 that we had talked about, they go in, and then you're gonna have guys from this year who weren't first ballot
Right.
get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Or guys that have been waiting 10 years to get in or something, that'll
Mhm.
happen. Um, like I think what Eric Allen only just got in this year.
Yeah, and Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to me. That's so insane to me that they waited that long to put Sterling Sharp in the Hall of Fame. That's
I,
nuts.
I mean,
I'm sure you
again,
don't
if
like
you're an
him
old
because
fan of football, you know who Sterling Sharp is. I know a lot of the young kids probably have no idea, but he was a very good receiver.
oh, he was incredible. Some people think he would have been a top 3 all-time receiver if he had managed to stay healthy. That's how
Mm,
good he was. So to me, it's a joke that it's taken damn near 30 years to put him in.
yeah.
Saying. Um, in fact, it might be more than 30 years that they didn't put him in. But all right, good stuff, Josh. Those were the sports quick hits. I just have one more for you. Last Friday, I believe it was last Friday, we got a chance to catch Happy Gilmore 2, which Sarah, if you hear this, I'm sorry. I know you're not happy about it, but we got to watch, maybe just skip this part of the show if you listen to it with her around. I don't know. Um I apologize to your wife very much, but we took in the movie together and hung out. Um you probably remember how much I was laughing at the movie. What did you think of it? Do you think that it did? Just tell me what you just tell me what you thought of it, and then I'll follow up.
Yeah, so I mean I think I had mentioned it to you when we were watching it. Like I up until like the golf scenes, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great comedy. And then the golf scenes got a little quirky and a little outlandish, and I was kind of like, this is I won't use the word, but the word we used in the 90s to describe stuff. That's what I thought of it. I was like, I thought this is a little over the top. This is a little But other than that one, maybe I don't know, what was it, a 10-minute montage of golf? Like other than that, I thought it was a great movie, like a great comedy. If you're going there thinking it's going to be like some deep story, you're an idiot. It's an Adam Sandler comedy. Like you're going there to laugh at stupid stuff. Look at your buddies and go, "This is so ridiculous," and laugh. Like that's what the movie's supposed to make you feel like a child. Like laugh like a kid, laugh at all the stupid stuff. That's what I did. That's what you did, and that's exactly what I thought the movie was supposed to be. So for what I wanted, it's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, I don't think I could have put that much better myself. I know you just happen to be I'm a video game golfer and you're an actual golfer, so I'm sure that like your perspective on the golf stuff, like yeah, and I've watched plenty of golf over the years, so like I get that. But for what that movie was supposed to be, and
Mm.
considering it had been 30 years, or I'm sorry, 29 years since the original release, I don't think they really could have done a better job with it. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of flack online. People, oh, well, that sucked. Like again, it's a dumb buddy comedy. You are going there to laugh your ass off and have a good time. You're not going there for a cinematic, thrilling masterpiece that you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, if you thought it was Oppenheimer, you're at the wrong theater.
If you thought that it was the Barbie movie, you were definitely at the wrong theater. Did you know those came out on the same day? I did not know that.
I did.
Anything you want to add on Happy Gilmore too? Anything you want to add from the show this week? Great stuff from you as always, my friend, and thank you very much once again. Anything you want to add before we go?
As always, awesome being able to shoot the stuff with you, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much, folks. That's it for the Terranadome for this week. Don't worry, Josh will be back fairly soon because football season is just around the corner. Buddy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you every week like we did last season, But for as much as I can, actually, we didn't do every week last season, did we? It was
It was every other.
It was every other, and then I think the playoffs we did every week, which that's a nice format. I like that. So gonna probably have to pay him something eventually, folks. I say it on the show all the time when I have him on, but he elevates the show that much. So once again, thank you, my friend. Folks, it's the Terranadome, and tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow simply is not promised, folks. That's something that I am seeing, unfortunately, all too real right now. So yeah, just let somebody you give a care about them if you get a chance today. And yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back weekly now. No more 2-week breaks for me. So it's the Terranadome. Everybody have a good rest of your week, and we will see you early next week on the show. Terranadome. Minnesota was doomed from the start. I mean, this was a ass whooping. There's nothing short of that. It was a complete ass whooping. But I will tell you what, my friend, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And it is time to get them back in the AFC Championship game. I believe that, listen, you're right about Derrick Henry, especially in cold weather. No one's going to want to tackle that guy. So it's going to be imperative for the Buffalo Bills to jump out early in this game and get a lead and force Lamar Jackson to have to play from behind. If they can do that, they're going to win this game. Mention things that we love to hear, like we're getting the entitlement out of our team, and we're going to earn the opportunity to come into this building every day. I absolutely love that. One thing I will say for sure, yes, they definitely need to go and spend some friggin' money. They're going to have the most cap space in the league, and I'm going to kill them every week on this show until they spend money.
Known as fair and square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome. Terranadome, and it starts right now.